25 years later, I still have nightmares. I'm too scared to close my eyes. Now, at 32, I can still feel the fingers all over my body as I recall the horrifying events that took place in that house. I've been going to therapy for some 8 years now, and slowly I am returning to my former self. It all started when our family moved into our new house at 13 Blackthorn Lane. I wasn't much higher than a brick at the time, and I was so excited because this would be the first time I had my very own room. I loved the bedroom Mommy had picked for me, and as I ran up the stairs into my new bedroom, I jumped on the bed and flopped down, clutching my doll tightly. I played house with my dolls for the rest of the day. Mommy called us for dinner, and after dinner I brushed my teeth and went to bed. The first night after we moved in was quiet. I was humming a tune while brushing my doll's hair. I put down the brush on the side table, covered myself, and tried to sleep. I must have dozed off because I woke up at midnight when the big old grandfather clock banged out the hours 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 12. Then everything went quiet, and all I could hear was the creaking of floorboards and distant whispers. I've always had an overactive imagination, but I'm positive this wasn't my imagination. From the corner of my eye, I could see shadows on the walls, the curtains, the floorboards, everywhere. I squeezed my eyes shut and drifted off to sleep. In the following days, the shadows grew bolder, taking shape and form. I could see them. They were trying to dislodge themselves from the walls and ceiling. I could feel their eyes on me, and strange whispers echoed through the halls when the world outside was silent. In the months that followed, sleep became a luxury as every night I was plagued by haunting dreams. It wasn't only our house. It was the neighbors as well. Something is very wrong with this neighborhood. One by one, my neighbors moved out, leaving behind empty houses. They spoke of shadows that crept into their dreams, whispers that spoke of unimaginable horrors, and an overwhelming sense of dread that consumed them. None of them could bear the weight of whatever had attached itself to the houses in Blackthorn Lane. Night fell, and I became so desperate that I would run out of my room and hide downstairs. Sometimes I would open the door and hide in the garden. No matter how far I ran, the shadows always found me. I could feel their icy fingers brushing against my skin, and I would scream so loud. Mommy would come running upstairs holding me tight, telling me it's a bad dream. No, Mommy, it's real. The shadows want to take me. Mommy would hold me tight and stroke my hair with her fingers. One night, as the moon hid behind a cloud, I saw it, the shadow man. He managed to dislodge himself from the wall, and he stood there in the darkness. He had no face. He reached out and poked his bony finger into my brain, pulling out all my happy dreams and leaving me with only fear. The shadow man lifted me off my bed and took me outside. As soon as I could, I would run off back inside. As the days turned into endless nights, I could no longer distinguish reality from nightmares. He sometimes just stood there and looked at me. He would make me walk down the passage, which encouraged the other shadows to break free from the wall. One night, I sat at the edge of my bed. I was holding a book, and I felt something moving in close behind me. The thing's arm wrapped around mine, and he put his legs around my body. I couldn't scream for Mommy to help me. I couldn't move. I just sat still in fear. The shadow man fed off my fear. Those quiet whispers grew louder every day. And then, one night as I lay paralyzed, all the shadows dislodged. They were free, and it felt like, just because I was so scared, I helped free them. They had become stronger every night, feeding off my fear. Now they enveloped me in their suffocating embrace. The house was ripped off, its foundations, and floated upward towards the emptiness. In that moment, I understood. I was just another victim, another child claimed by the shadow man and the other horrible shadows that dwelled in the house on 13 Blackthorn Lane. As the shadows consumed me, I became one with the darkness, joining the countless others who had succumbed to the haunting legacy of that quiet neighborhood. If you ever find yourself near 13 Blackthorn Lane, beware of the shadows, for once they set their sights on you, Escape becomes impossible and your soul becomes their eternal playground.